The right song can unleash a flood of memories that teleport you back in time, and these 10 tracks send every boomer and more than a few Gen Xers straight back to high school.
Countries always have national anthems. This is the rock and roll national anthem.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you.
More on that later. Kiss delivered a scorcher of a party anthem to 70's high schoolers with Rock and Roll All Night. Good luck matching the crunchy, freewheeling spirit of this hard rock classic.
We've been all over the world, a lot of languages, a lot of cultures. When that song comes out, everybody knows the words.
For a band wearing makeup and dressed like demons from outer space, Gene Simmons and crew delivered a joyful celebration of the rock and roll lifestyle, played in a major key with a sing-along chorus that never ages. This classic was the first single from Kiss's third album, Dress to Kill, but found a bigger, better response when it was later included on the band's Alive LP. Though it became the band's signature song, the partying the lyrics referred to was meant to be tamer than expected, at least from the band's perspective. In a 2019 interview with Bernie and Sid in the Morning on WABC 77 The Radio, Paul Stanley explained, "It was, I want to rock and roll all night and party every day. I want to have a great time and make the most of life." Whether or not that was the message teen boomers took from the track, one thing remains true. They can't hear the song without belting the chorus at the top of their lungs, and neither can anyone else. Journey's anthem, Don't Stop Believin', really does take listeners on a, pardon the pun, great journey. Musically, it starts off uncertain before exploding with excitement and finally embracing the unknown. It's a song about taking a chance on dreams, even if the chances for success might not be too clear. The reason that Don't Stop Believing connects is because it's a genuine message. As Journey keyboardist and guitarist Jonathan Cain told Songwriting Magazine, it's inspired by a true story from his own life. He'd signed a record deal, been dropped, and gone back to selling stereos. For obvious reasons, he'd started to lose hope that he'd ever have a successful music career. He called his father and asked if he should give up and come home.
He said, "No, don't stop believing, John."
Those words stuck with Cain.
I wrote the chorus, don't stop.
At the time, Don't Stop Believing turned into a #1 hit as Escape topped the Billboard charts. But there's definitely a case to be made that the track has become even more popular in the 21st century. Alice Cooper's School's Out is a song that leaves nothing to the imagination. It's an end-of-year declaration of freedom that teenagers of the era carried with them all the way through adulthood. The single was strategically released in April 1972, just weeks before the end of the school year. In an oral history of the song published on AZ Central, Cooper explained, "I just took it and said, is it possible to capture the last 3 minutes of the last day of school before summer vacation? There's no other moment as joyous as that, except maybe Christmas morning." At some point in his life, Alice Cooper did apparently like learning things. Still, the intended emotion of the moment came through, and the song ended up being the only single released from the album of the same name. And the song was an international success, hitting #7 in the US, #3 in Canada, and #1 in the UK.
I saw as an artist that rock and roll, horror, and comedy were all in bed together.
It was a super smart idea. High schoolers across the globe latched onto the rebellious vibe of the chorus, which is nothing less than a defiant, teenaged battle cry. The song was so big it was even performed with the Muppets. Today, kids are like,
"Dad, what's a Muppet?"
It's a song that can't decide whether it wants to be a quiet reflection on loneliness or a lighter, hoisting, arena-shaking declaration of pain. Luckily, All By Myself by Eric Carmen doesn't have to choose. It's all thanks to all people.
When it was done, the only two people that thought All By Myself should be the first single were Clive and me.
Fortunately for teenage boomers, Clive Davis, founder and president of the Arista label, knew what he was talking about and got his way. Thanks to him, we've got All By Myself, a heartbreakingly perfect power ballad that nails the emotional roller coaster ridden by every adolescent, past and present, agonizing over lost love or pining for a love that never was. As Carmen's first solo foray into the big time, All By Myself climbed all the way up to #4 on Billboard's 1975 Hot 100. It was actually a mashup of Rachmaninoff with a chorus from a song Carmen wrote for his former band, the Raspberries. Best of all, there was no hidden meaning for listeners to decipher. The song was about being sad and alone, and Carmen's mournful delivery gave it just what it needed.
Sometimes I feel so insecure.
That's right, 20 years later, a Celine Dion cover of All By Myself would head back to the charts, giving boomers a chance to recapture their high school angst while introducing a whole new generation to just how sad a song can be. Disco teens of the 70s were riding high in their feathered hair and gold chains when the Bee Gees released Stayin' Alive off the mega hit soundtrack of Saturday Night Fever. There's no separating the tune from the visual of John Travolta strutting down a Brooklyn sidewalk on his way to dance like everyone was watching. The opening strain summoned every disco king and dance floor diva to show off their moves, even if they weren't on a light-up dance floor underneath a twirling disco ball. How successful was his 1977 Siren song to all the copycat Tony Maneros? It spent 4 weeks at the top of Billboard's Hot 100 chart and 27 weeks on the charts overall, won a Grammy, and went platinum. It also became one of the most iconic songs of the decade and brought Barry Gibb and his brothers to a new pinnacle of success. This boomer high school favorite got a new lease on life in 2008 when the American Heart Association promoted Stayin' Alive as the perfect rhythm for performing CPR.
It's important to push at a rate of 100 beats per minute, which is the same tempo as the song Stayin' Alive.
And yes, the beat of Stayin' Alive really works.
When Michael Jackson released Rock With You from his wildly successful album Off the Wall, his status as an adult solo artist was solidified. As part of the deal, school dances had a sugary soft beat bouncer that let the teen set jam to a sound that felt like it was from the past and the future at the same time. Rock With You ushered in the next phase of Jackson's supernova career, which would ultimately make him one of the biggest stars on the planet. But in 1979, it was enough to have a romantic song that invited close swaying with your sweetheart at the school dance, but left room for more stylish dancers to burst out some groovier moves. Rock With You was also perfect for bopping along in the car, a light and breezy song that fit every occasion. The song went to number 1 in 1980 and helped kick off the post-disco era, a decade when punk rock, new wave, and the second British invasion would give boomer ears entirely new sounds to chew on. Thanks to Rock With You, the teens of the 1970s had one last taste of sonic sunshine to close out their high school era. Now when it plays, it brings back the bittersweet feelings of youth coming to a close. Some songs make everyone flash back to movies of the era, and one of those textbook examples is Simple Minds' Don't You Forget About Me. How many of you just flashed back to John Hughes' 1985 coming-of-age masterpiece, The Breakfast Club? It's a classic rock song made famous by a movie, but it's also a defining track for anyone who grew up in the 80s. Don't You Forget About Me was written exclusively for The Breakfast Club by Keith Forsey and Steve Schiff, not by the band who eventually recorded it. Simple Minds was approached by the record label to record the single, but they passed at first, preferring to record their own music. After they met Forsey, though, they decided to do it, and the rest is history. Funnily enough, this 80s high school hit was actually inspired by real-life school days. Forsey told The Guardian that the conversation between Breakfast Club characters Brian Johnson and John Bender evoked a particular memory, saying, "When they were away from everybody else, the two of them actually recognized each other. It reminded me of when I was going to school. If you were in the school playground, the bad guys would be pretty bad to you. But if you met them at the bus stop in the morning, there was some bonding there." Is there a better 80s ballad than Foreigner's I Wanna Know What Love Is? The track begins in a chill fashion as Lou Graham's vocals croon a soft melody that hits the heart and moves the feet. The drama builds in the bridge and even more in the chorus, and finally the track explodes into the heartfelt plea of someone who desperately wants their own love story.
I wanna know what love is.
Released in 1984, I Wanna Know What Love Is a single from Foreigner's album Agent Provocateur, and is arguably the band's most recognizable song. It hit the top of the Billboard Hot 100 in 1985, and from then on, no one could escape it.
The ballad is a way to uncover hidden feelings in a way that I wouldn't in a rock and roll song.
It's possible that the song inspired a million romances, some of which may even have stood the test of time.
I wanna feel what love is.
However it played out for the teenage boomers who sang along, I Wanna Know What Love Is a must-add to any 80s mix. It's also one of the 500 greatest songs of all time, according to Rolling Stone. Here's a cool little fun fact for you. When Foreigner started playing the song live, they'd sometimes incorporate a local high school chorus to sing backup on it, and they continue that tradition today. Nowadays, Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up is well known thanks to the internet era Rickrolling. But people forget how big this track was in the 80s. Astley may have looked like he was 12, but his booming voice captivated listeners who caught this earworm and certified dance floor igniter.
I remember thinking, like, I have to get a turtleneck and a trench coat.
Yeah! This irresistibly bouncy pop song took over the world in 1987, becoming an anthem of the time as everyone sang along.
I want to be Rickrolled.
Never Gonna Give You Up peaked at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 and went platinum 5 times. Plus, it remains in the pop culture zeitgeist for its outstanding suitability for any karaoke playlist. As it turned out, Astley unintentionally came up with the title and chorus of the song in a conversation with one of the songwriters, Pete Waterman, who told The Guardian, "I've been going out with a woman called Gaynor for ages. One morning I came off the phone after a long call to her and Rick quipped, 'You're never going to give her up.' It stuck in my mind." Joan, Jett, and the Blackhearts' Bad Reputation is punk rock to the core. The track accelerates out of the starting blocks at 1,000,000 miles an hour before Jett starts to sing. That's essentially the entire message of the song. It's all about embracing who you are, not caring what trash others talk about you, and rejecting society's definition of who you are meant to be. Sound advice. And in 1980, Bad Reputation established itself as the rebel yell of that decade. This track was the ultimate middle finger to anyone and everyone who dared to tell you how to behave. As a matter of fact, Jett told SiriusXM that this song is all about her state of mind after the Runaways broke up.
Really, if you listen to the lyrics, it's autobiographical. It's really, what happened.
While Bad Reputation didn't chart as high or receive the same mainstream attention as the band's cover of I Love Rock and Roll, its message resonated with the Defiant. And isn't that the very definition of punk rock?